Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on our Code Ninjas weekly conference call. We do these calls each and every week to be able to help give you better insight and understanding of who Code Ninjas is, what we're doing, the direction we're going. So I want to say thanks so much for joining us today. So when it comes to Code Ninjas, how we do these calls, these weekly calls, is I give you a brief overview of kind of what we're doing, where we're at. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to give you some insight. And then we move into our Q&A section. The Q&A section is really your time to ask as many questions as you want regarding Code Ninjas, whether it's going to be something that I said that we talked about today, whether it's going to be something that was that maybe you have questions from the past. So if you're just joining us, my name is Marty Flanagan. I'm the Vice President of Franchising here at Code Ninjas, and I do these calls each and every week, and I record them and host them on our YouTube channel. We've been doing this for about 2 years now, so you're able to go back and listen to our past calls as well. So we'll kind of dive in here, go over that first 10 to 15-minute overview, and then go into the Q&A. The Q&A has no time limit. As long as you want to ask questions, as long as you want to go, you'll be signaled to virtually kind of raise your hand, and you'll be able to ask as many questions as you want at that time. And that time can go for 10 minutes. It could go for an hour and a half. We've had these sessions go for quite a long time, so which is great. So it's really about you and the questions you have. So who is Code Ninjas? What do we do? What's going on? Our motto is kids have fun, parents see results. We teach kids how to code through a game-based curriculum. Now, there's multiple ways that families can get involved, and we'll talk about that curriculum and the different programs we have in a little bit. But a little bit of history behind who we are. David Graham, the CEO and founder of Code Ninjas, and Bert Sensipon and I started Code Ninjas in 2016. Our first franchise center opened in 2017, March of 2017. And as of today, in 2018, December, we have a little over 75 centers enrolling students. We have more than 350 sold locations, more than 150 franchisees across the U.S. We just started franchising in Canada about 3 months ago. So we look to have our first location sold in Canada in the coming weeks. We have quite a few groups in the final stages of securing actually a territory. We look to be completely sold out of Canada by March of 2019 as our projected sell-out date where we'll stop selling franchises in Canada, just based on the amount of inquiries that have been coming in. And we compare that to our growth here in the U.S., I would say that if you compare those two, Canada will be completely sold by March of 2019. When it comes to the U.S., we do have closed markets like Houston and Austin. We have closed markets across the country, which obviously we can talk with one-on-one. But that growth and how that happened has been completely validating for us as a brand, and people seeing our vision and what we're doing and the direction we're going. David Graham, the CEO and founder of Code Ninjas, he's been a coder and a programmer for 25-plus years, entrepreneur. He owned a school that taught adults how to code for about 4.5 years that operated in 18 different cities. That company is now called WazU. He sold that company a few years ago before starting Code Ninjas with Bert and myself. So, and that gave him great insight and understanding and more kind of just seeing the need of the younger generation. So for all that time that would go on, he would continually get asked about how the younger generation can get involved in coding and programming, and how can they teach them and teach their kids, and how can our younger generation learn these skills. So as time went on, he continued to examine the marketplace and continued to see this big gap out there on how students, the younger generation, how they were learning, and really just how isolated this curriculum was, where it wasn't really just open to everybody. It was very intimidating. And intimidation is a big reason why a lot of families and a lot of adults who don't understand coding don't get the younger generation involved. They don't understand the value. They don't see it. And when they look at it, it's just very intimidating. So we had some stuff in front of us that we needed to, some hurdles that we needed to get over. And we believe we've done that now with Code Ninjas. We believe we've proven that we can be a non-intimidating environment. We can be fun. We can be engaging with parents. And most importantly is that our kids do have fun, our parents do see changes, And that's why that motto of kids have fun, parents see results is really the core of what we focus on and how we deliver our curriculum and experience to our communities that we are in and continue to want to be in. When it comes to just overall look at Code Ninjas, we built ourselves to be a franchise from day one. So ever since the beginning, we built Code Ninjas to be a franchise. We were not trying to build Code Ninjas in any other way. We knew we needed to be a franchise to deliver an exceptional experience to our families and our communities. That experience was just as important as having a world-class curriculum. So we like to balance those two. And we have found franchisees who, after they get through the learning curve of understanding how to run their Code Ninjas on a daily basis and they inject themselves into the culture of their Code Ninjas, we've seen excellent growth. We've seen excellent opportunities come from those families, how they're impacting their communities, how their centers have grown because they're impacting their communities, they're inserting their culture into their Code Ninjas after they get through that learning curve of really figuring out their daily operations. So as we look at the franchising side of it, being that we built Code Ninjas from day one to be a franchise, we know that support is going to be the backbone of every great franchise. Our franchisees and their feedback is our brand development. We fully understand that we need our franchisees to engage with us so that we can continue to develop our brand, develop our experiences, develop our curriculum with our franchisees' feedback. Because franchisees, you're on the ground every day. You're talking to parents. You're talking to students. You're seeing the impact that you are having or you're not having. And we want to be able to continue to pivot on the marketplace to be able to provide you with the tools to be successful. So support is really critical, and we know that from the beginning. So before we even launched as a brand, we were building our support structure, our infrastructure, to be able to support our franchisees. And how we did that, we started with compliance, making sure we had brand consistency, making sure we can help you be compliant with laws and permitting and understanding of what you need to have done as a franchisee before opening. So everything has a timeline and a purpose, and we have 16-week opening roadmaps to follow. You're not having to do this alone. We have construction manuals, design manuals, marketing materials, digital marketing strategies. So you have a very clear path, inventory, so you know what you have to do and when you have to do it. We also know that performance coaching is going to be critical because you're going to have ups and downs, and we need to be there to support you. Performance coaching is not just taken lightly by Code Ninjas. We want to make sure that we're there for you, coach you on a daily operational aspect of what you do, keep driving you forward and helping you continue to increase the performance of your Code Ninjas. We also know that collaboration is critical. You working with your franchisee peers, right? Working with each other in your markets, not in your markets, across the country, doesn't matter, but sharing best practices, helping each other through the pitfalls of being a business owner is really, really important from your peers. So we have a whole collaboration tool as well that allows you to connect with every franchisee immediately. So you're working and talking with franchisees who are in your phase and in your stage and ahead of you so that you can collaborate and work together and use each other's best practices. We really look at it as harnessing the greatness of our franchisees and working together and collaborating and creating that network with inside Code Ninjas. So we have a whole platform that allows you to do that. We also have something called Code Ninja University, which allows you to pull documents, allows you to do some reading and understanding, whether it's going to be changes in the system or operations or marketing and understanding what you can and cannot do more. That's a Code Ninja University. We also have, obviously, newsletters that go out on a regular basis. We want those newsletters to reach you for updates in curriculum, technology, operations, whether it's going to be our conferences. We have weekly conference calls with our owners that you can be a part of. So, and they're also recorded. So we want to make sure that you're connected to us as a brand and engaged. That is critical for the growth of Code Ninjas. And obviously it has worked with more than 350 sold locations. And we'll have 100 locations open by March of 2019. And the reason that's a big deal is because only 2% of franchise brands, according to IFA, have 100 locations open in their first 24 months of awarding franchises. So that's pretty big, and we're really excited about reaching that, and we feel very confident that we will. So you understand that infrastructure of support. You understand hopefully can get a vision and see what we're doing as a support structure and continuing to provide you with the support that you need to be successful in your market, and sharing obviously great ideas and great plans that your other franchisees are doing. So curriculum, we get that question all the time, right? Curriculum, what's your curriculum? What does it look like? How is it done? Why is it so different than everybody else? There's a lot. There's a lot that's different. There's so many things that are different with Code Ninjas that we just really stand out. We're nothing like the competition, and that's why in 24 months or 20 months now, we have more locations and have done more and accomplished more than all these other brands combined in a quarter of the time. These other brands have been out there for a long time. They're good people. They're nice. I have nothing bad to say about them. We're just different, and we really stand out because of so many reasons. Curriculum, the biggest question we get on a regular basis is why in your curriculum? Well, so obviously we know there's more to it than that, but let's just talk quickly about one piece of our curriculum that we kind of built, which we built Code Ninjas off of, and then obviously we've done more since then. But with our main curriculum, it's going to be your main revenue source, is something called our drop-in program. The drop-in curriculum is made up of 9 different belts. With inside each belt, you have a learning set of concepts and skills. And at the end of each belt, you're required to build a game that requires you to use those concepts and your skills. It requires you to show your proficiency in those concepts and skills used with inside that belt. Every belt compounds onto one another. So every belt works together. There's no accomplishing one belt and then having to come back and do another one. No, you're going to progress through as you show your proficiency of the skills and concepts that you're learning. This curriculum is the only curriculum, we're the only company in the country, in the world that I know of as of today, that has a custom-built LMS. That custom-built LMS, a learning management system, is custom-built by Code Ninjas to test the proficiency of our students based on what they're learning with inside of our 9-belt program. So we have a proficiency test for our students, and that's called our game development platform. That's a custom-built LMS. Because if one doesn't exist today, we had to build our own. This curriculum is about 45% exclusive and proprietary just to Code Ninjas. This curriculum also has proprietary textbooks. This curriculum also lives on our platform in the cloud that our students access through our custom-built dashboard. This curriculum is a flexible learning system. So it is a drop-in program, that flexible learning system. It is a self-paced but not self-taught program. When our students come in, they're going to scan their wristband. They're going to grab a textbook. They're going to sit down. They're going to open up that laptop, and they're going to start working on a lesson independently. When they have questions or they need help working through a problem, they're going to raise their hand, and a code sensei is going to come over and help them one-on-one, individual. It's not a group setting. There's no classes. There's no lectures. This is individualized. So it's going to be a self-paced but not self-taught program. It is an awarding program. So they're going to be, as they go through and as they learn and as they accomplish different levels, they're going to get rewarded with different belts. They're going to have different ceremonies. They're taking their picture. I mean, we celebrate their successes. And there's many successes with inside each belt. So it's not like they have to wait to get to the end of the belt, show their proficiency, and then be celebrated. They're actually going to be able to accomplish different concepts and skills with inside each belt as they learn them. So they're getting those little wins all the way through. So that curriculum in itself is a flat fee-based curriculum. So parents are going to pay a flat monthly rate. And then that curriculum is accessed anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a week for our students. So they can come in, they can stay for 2 hours 1 day a week. They can come in 2 days a week for an hour. That program is going to be accessed that way, and parents can either stay on site or they can leave, and come back and pick up their son or their daughter. So that curriculum itself, like I said, that's the one that has that custom-built LMS that we built, 45% proprietary and exclusive. Nobody is doing that program. Nobody. because we own it. We built it. We have exclusive rights to this program, right? So this also has this curriculum also has robotics built into it. So they're not just going to be doing screen time. They're also going to be building robotics at the same time. It's built into that program. That is one way that families get involved. Just one. That curriculum takes anywhere from 2 to 4 years for our students to accomplish. That's one way for families to get involved in Code Ninjas. We have multiple, right? We have 6 ways that families can get involved. So we have that drop-in program. We have our Parents' Night Out, which is fun. That's designed to be fun. Mom and parents drop off their son or their daughter. They stay for 3 to 4 hours. Parents can go out and get their errands done or whatever with their son or their daughters in a safe environment, having fun, playing games, engaging with other kids that maybe are like-minded. We also have our after-school program. After-school program, some of our centers take advantage of it, some don't. There's a whole agenda that's attached to that. It's because they're with you every single day. We also do camps. Camps are whenever there's not school. Camps are whenever there's not school, you can do camps. And just recently, we've now allowed our camp curriculum to go out into the community. So now you can take our camp program into schools, community centers, YMCAs, charter schools, private schools, Montessori, doesn't matter. You can take our camp curriculum now and go out into the community. We just started allowing that. So that we beta tested it. Our franchisees have been asking for it. So now we allow our camp curriculum to go out into the marketplace. We also do workshops. Workshops are done like over, for example, Christmas break. We have franchisees that have scheduled 3-day workshops. We have some, they're sold out in some locations where there's no more room. They've sold out of their 3-day workshops, and they're doing 2 of them a day. I mean, they're not just doing 1 in the morning. They're doing 2 a day. So they're filled up their centers with 3-day workshops. Workshops can also go out into the community. So not only our camps, but our workshops are able to be done out into the community, where we can reach families who normally wouldn't be coming to Code Ninjas because of maybe their family schedule. They got too many things going on. Their time is limited. Now we can actually go out and meet them into the school system. They can sign up and do camps and workshops out into the school. That's an amazing opportunity for a Code Ninja franchisee to take advantage of. Because now we know, and we know for a fact, our data shows that our camps and our workshops feed our drop-in program. We know for a fact it does. We know exactly what camps have the highest percentage of students that transfer into our drop-in program. And you have that data as a franchisee, so that's fantastic. Then we also do birthday parties. So we have multiple opportunities for families to get involved based on their budget, based on location, based on convenience, based on their overall commitment. We have multiple programs available for our families to get involved, multiple revenue streams for our franchisees. So that gives you a brief look at why we've exploded, why our growth is continuing to go through the roof, and why we expect to be sold out of Canada by March of 2019 and to have up close to 450 sold locations by March of 2015 or 2019. 2015, where am I? 2019, we look to have 100 locations more sold here in the U.S. and having 100-plus locations open by then. So if you have, this is going to be the time where actually you'll be able to ask whatever questions you have. It's pretty simple, where if you have questions about territories, if you have questions about the FDD, if you have questions about financials, right? So here's franchising law prevents me from sharing any financial data that's not within inside of our franchise disclosure document. So if you're going to ask me what kind of profit can I expect, I can't answer that. If you're going to ask me about, well, what kind of revenue can I do per year, I can't answer that. I only can talk about financial side of things that are in our franchise disclosure document. Now, knowing that, when you engage in the process and taking these next steps with Code Ninjas, we have tools in place that allow you to build out your ROI. They allow you to build out your goals for revenue, net income. So you can we actually give you the tools, knowing that we are restricted and knowing that our data is a little limited because we're a newer franchise. We give you the tools to help you build that out based on what our franchise disclosure document item 19 says. So just kind of a heads up on that. But I'm very transparent with whatever questions you have. So this would be that time, and how that works is you will be triggered to hit *6 to ask any question you like. Now, if I did such a fantastic job today and nobody has any questions, then we'll end today's call. It'll be pretty easy. But if you have a question about Code Ninjas, anything about I talked about today or anything I didn't talk about today, and you want to ask, this is going to be your time. By hitting *6, we'll be able to jump in and ask a bunch of questions. Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, it's good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are. Just wondering what programming languages you're using for the curriculum.
So we actually use a few different type of languages, technologies. We play around in Scratch a little bit in the beginning because we want our kids to get some easy wins. Then we move into JavaScript and C#. And C# is a very powerful tool inside of Unity 3D. So those are the three languages we currently have inside of our curriculum, our drop-in curriculum. Now, obviously, some of our camps can use Python. There's Python camps and things like that out there as well that we can incorporate at any time.
Hey, great. Thank you very much. Can I slip one more question in for you?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Hey, just do you have a minimum estimate of square footage that you recommend for the franchise locations?
Yeah, great question. So we actually have a range of 1,600 square feet to 3,200 square feet that we suggest. I can tell you now with 75 plus locations enrolling students, our franchisees really like the 1,800 to 2,200 square feet range.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Good morning. And what's the age group you start this program?
Oh, great question. We have 7 to 14 is the age group that our current programs focus on.
Okay.
And then early 2019, our Code Masters program will be released, and that's for 14 years and older. So whether you're 14 or you're 40, you'll be able to do the Code Masters program.
Okay, and what are you planning to have that kind of program to cover for? If they are 14 plus, then what are you going to teach them? What's the plan?
So we'll release all that information when Code Masters is ready to be released to the market.
Okay, and one more question. So do you have any fees range for each program, or can you disclose that, any idea of like how much the duration and the prices for the program?
So our drop-in program, in our franchise disclosure document, the drop-in program states that right now our centers pay our families are paying anywhere from $180 a month up to $225 a month. That's the majority live in that range with our centers that are open. We have some centers that charge a little bit less, and we have some centers that charge close to $300 a month. So it all depends on your marketplace. We allow you to be flexible with that.
Okay. And that is, you say once in a week or twice in a week or something like that, right?
That's for up to 2 hours a week.
Okay, 2 hours per week. And so how do you define the territories, or how do you define the location? So do I have my choice, or you have a list of the locations? How it goes?
So we work with you based on, we have internal matrix that we use, and we also use demographics. So for a location to be approved within a 2 to 3 mile radius around your desired location, you have to have at least a 70,000 median household income and at least 5,000 students in our age range. That's what we start with. Now, in some communities, they're a lot more dense, so we're okay with a little bit lower of a median household income. But typically, that's where we start to look. And we are beta. We just started a small community Code Ninjas that we're working with right now with a franchisee that is a little bit smaller of a community out in the middle of really nowhere.
And do you have any territories, or any student can transfer from one center to another center, or how it works?
Yep, they can transfer. We have in early 2019, we have something called reciprocity that's going to kick in, And basically what that means is if a student is visiting a center, let's say they're in Florida and they're visiting and they want to do their Code Ninjas curriculum, they can go into the local Code Ninjas, scan their wristband, and their information pops up, what they've worked on, their dashboard pops up, and they can just go right and start doing their curriculum like they were at their home center. Also, students can transfer. So if a student moves to a different part of the country, they can transfer to another Code Ninjas, and all their work would go with them.
Okay. And you also say you have some locations in Canada too, or you are planning to open, or you already have?
So Canada, like I mentioned earlier, Canada, we just became legal in Canada 3 months ago. So we started marketing 3 months ago in Canada, and to date we've received close to 350 inquiries, and we have close to 50 people right now that we're engaging with on a weekly basis that are very serious. So I expect Canada to be sold pretty out by March of 2019.
That's a great news, yeah. And so after this conference call, what is the next step to get more information?
You probably received an email from myself or Jeff Thames. Make sure you respond to that email, and we'll work with you on an individual basis.
Okay. And
awesome.
For other events, when you say the camps, the workshops, and the other birthday parties, after-school program, the different events, what you say, the other revenue streams, so that is also based on the market, or you have some guideline for the charges and the curriculum, and how that works? Do you have any?
We work with you as an individual franchisee. And as we go through we work with you individually to help you through that. We can't tell you what to charge, but we give you a range.
No problem. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for your questions.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, you have a question?
Yep. Hi. I was wondering if the demographic that you mentioned are met, how far apart would centers be? Because from where I live, I kind of looked it up, and there's quite a few already coming. And so I didn't know if
so
you have a certain requirement.
We do. Actually, we have guidelines internally where we do not stack Code Ninjas on top of one another. So there's a territory size, but then our internal matrix also go by. We want to have our Code Ninjas far enough apart. We don't want to. So if let's say, for example, you have a 3-mile radius. We will not put a Code Ninjas 3.2 miles away. So that's too close. You're fighting over the same students. It's territory overlap. It's too close. We don't do it. So just because you're outside of the territory of an existing franchisee does not mean that will be an approved franchise location. We do not like to have cannibalization going on. So we like to keep our Code Ninjas a little bit further apart.
Understood. And on your website, every location that says coming soon is already an approved franchise location, right?
No, it's sold. No, they're sold.
Okay.
Those are sold, paid for, signed franchise agreement with a timeline to open.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, so question I had is the hours usually for Code Ninjas is kind of the latter part of the day where it's like 3:30 to the rest of the day. If my community has a lot of homeschooling kids then their parents are looking for an alternative during the day, does the franchisee have the option of having it open for another longer period of time?
Oh, of course. I mean, like for example, Minnesota where I live, and in Texas, California, there's huge homeschooling communities, also known as quote-unquote unschooled communities, right? They're huge, right? So when you look at the opportunities to reach them, camps, workshops, the drop-in curriculum, I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity to reach that community as well, the homeschooling community. I mean, I homeschool my oldest, so I'm very familiar with that. My middle child goes to a public school. So I kind of got best of both worlds there. So when you look at the opportunity for you inside your Code Ninjas, I mean, you can open up at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's your center, right? You have to do our curriculum, right? It has to be approved. You can't be teaching actual karate, but you can open up when you want.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, I do. So this is regarding Canada as opportunity. So I did get all the information regarding the investment point. However, it is mentioned that it is all in the U.S. dollars. So going by the market dynamics, don't you think that that is always a fluctuating figure, wherein as a franchisee I'm working with a very expected margins in terms of profit sharing?
So when it comes to Canada, we've made adjustments to our model just for Canada. So when it comes to the currency of the 110,000 to about 250,000, that's also in Canadian currency for opening up in Canada, where the U.S. is focused on the U.S. So when you see that, we've made some adjustments in our model to where it's able to meet the 110 to 250,000 Canadian currency by not shipping so many things across the border where all those taxes and the shipping costs go through the roof.
True. But in the FDD, it all mentions that they're all in USDs.
The Canadian, they're all going to mention that, the 110 to 250, because we have to. When the new FDD is released in March of 2019, we'll be able to put the currency differences in there. And also, the current FDD doesn't mention the changes we've made for the Canadian market compared to the U.S. market.
Okay. That was a shocker for me when I saw that. Okay, every time it's like, because of the foreign exchange, I mean, like, what is that and how do I estimate my profit margin, right?
We have something, we have something called a facility guide for the U.S., and we have one for Canada. So when you start to go down this road with us, you would see the differences in the model that allow you to save the money to keep within that range in the Canadian currency.
Okay. So would Jeff Thames be able to provide me this new, figures information?
Well, there's not really new. It's been there for the last 3 months. So you're also going to have to be in that process with us. Usually we don't give that over until after you've come to Discovery Day.
Oh, okay.
So we don't just kind of give all of our tools over and all of our information over until we've seen quite a bit of commitment from yourself and coming to Discovery Day and kind of going further down the road with us.
Okay. Yeah, it totally makes sense when you're coming in such a big scale to Canadian market. So it's always good to have a different set of, pricing, which is more of a Canadian figures would be more ideal. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for your time. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, you have a question?
I was wondering if it's possible to create mobile centers and bring Code Ninja's curriculum to another center, or is it all based out of a specific location for Code Ninjas?
So we allow our camp curriculum and there's a couple answers to this. We allow our camp curriculum and our workshops to go out into the community.
Okay.
So those two go out into the community. We have 6, 7 camps, multiple workshops. Those go out into the community. Those can go into the school system. We also have something called the Dojo to Go, which we do birthday parties out of. Camp curriculum, workshops can all be done out of a mobile gaming trailer that we have, which a franchisee has an option to purchase. You don't have to. The camp still can go out into the community without the Dojo to Go. The drop-in curriculum is going to be on-site only. That curriculum cannot leave the center. That's not a camp, right? Because camps are you have multiple, right? You're doing a more of a collaboration where the drop-in program is individualized. So you really can't take that out into we don't feel that taking that out into the community. That's 2 to 4 years. That has to be balanced with experience, the experience that the students get on a regular basis. They have this home place to go to. There's consistency there. There's so many reasons behind it. We are not allowing the drop-in program out into the community. We're only allowing our camps and our workshops. And the reason we do that, the camps and the workshops, that's directly from our franchisees. We didn't allow that 2 weeks ago. Right. So we heard the voice of our franchisees. We beta tested it, and then we released it now for them to take camps and workshops out into the marketplace.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. For the average location size, what is the max capacity?
So let's just take 1,800 square feet, for example. In an 1,800 square foot space, you could probably have anywhere from 35 to 40 students in there at one time. Now, with the drop-in program, I mean, there's no scheduled times, right? So they're just coming in whenever. So to fill that center up would be very difficult because nobody's on the same schedule, right? They could be coming in at 4:15 or 5:05. I mean, there's no set times on the drop-in program. Your camps and your workshops, now that's different because they're coming in all together to be a part of a camp or a workshop. So that's where you look at the summer months and people are doing 2 camps a day and then doing the drop-in program in the evening or the afternoons. You know, they're having 20 kids in each camp, and then they do the drop-in in the afternoon, you know, later in the afternoons. So the only time that you're ever going to be really limited for space is when you have your camps and your workshops going in-house, but now also allowing that to happen outside of your center. It's even more beneficial when you think about those centers that have an 1,800 or 2,200 square foot space that get limited. If you're really good at getting out there and networking, and you're really good at showing the value of those camps and those workshops, you have an endless source of revenue year-round with camps and workshops and the drop-in program.
Got it. And one more. What kind of student-teacher ratios do you have in the drop-in program?
The drop-in program is 8-to-1.
Consistently?
Well, our franchisees have a choice. 8-to-1 is typically what our franchisees like to go with. The camps are a little bit different. Our franchisees are liking more of a 5-to-1 ratio, but our drop-in program is an 8-to-1. There's no consistently with it. It has to do with the traffic and engagement of that center. But 8-to-1 is what we suggest and what our franchisees abide by.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes, sir. So how does the royalty works for the franchisees?
So the royalties are done on a weekly basis. So all the monies that are collected through that week, the royalties everything runs through our system. So at the end of that week, our royalties come out of every transaction, and then the franchisee gets their portion of everything. So it's all done weekly, and you get a deposit in your bank account.
And can you share that any percentage frame or anything?
Yeah, sure. I mean, our royalty is 8%.
Oh, okay.
And in the franchising world, the range usually is anywhere from between 12% and 18% right now in the franchising world. Mm-hmm. So we're obviously very competitive.
Yeah, of course. 8% is really good.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So my question is, after this conference call, what are the next steps? And you mentioned about discovery to one of the earlier callers. So what do discovery mean specifically?
Sure, yeah. Great question. So when it comes to, if you did not receive an email from Jeff Thames or myself, Marty Flanagan, if you did not receive an email, or if you did receive it, you lost it, it doesn't make a difference. If you need direction to connect with somebody at Code Ninjas, email me, marty@codeninjas.com. By emailing me, I will get back to you. I'll connect you right away. I'll get back to you right away. I'm very accessible, so I even give if anybody ever wants to call me, text me, I always give up my phone number at the end of each call as well. So if you haven't received something from somebody over here at Code Ninjas, please reach out to me, marty@codeninjas.com. If you don't know who you spoke to originally, or you need to connect with somebody. Discovery days are by invitation only. Discovery days are held on the second Thursday of every month, so we have one next Thursday. They're by invitation only, and the reason is we want people there that are on the same page. They're working together, going in the same direction. They've all done their due diligence. So you'll be with people from all over the country, and they've done the same amount of work, if not more work, than you've done. So whether it's looking at locations or digging with Code Ninjas or talking to other franchisees or whatever it's been, the financials, it doesn't matter. They've worked through all that. So you're going to be sitting next to people that have done the work. Discovery days are not about talking about the legal aspects of our franchise disclosure document. Discovery days are not talking about what territories look like. Discovery days are not talking about what I should charge in my center. Discovery days are all about the day-to-day operations, real estate, construction, marketing. You meet our entire team. We talk about new franchisee training. We obviously dive deep into our curriculum. We go to our operating center, walk through that, touch, feel, and see everything from the robotics to even looking at all of our, we don't let you take any pictures of our textbooks or anything like that, but you can definitely come in and experience and see kind of how everything operates. That's what Discovery Days are meant for. We do not go over the legal sides of everything or why did you choose to do that and the FDD. We don't. All that can be done ahead of time. And that's why we keep these at invitation only. There's a few benchmarks that need to be reached before you can come to a Discovery Day.
All right, thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, you have a question? Hi, do you have a question? Hi, do you have a question?
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. So you were mentioning about the 50 applicants in Canada. How many are you planning to essentially open in each city?
Well, so we've had about 350 inquiries total inside Canada, which is a high number for just the short amount of time we've been marketing. Because we're only marketing in a couple of cities, but we're getting inquiries from all over. We have 50 people that are currently engaging with us and are pretty serious. That doesn't mean any of them are going to move forward. So what we do is when people enter the process with us, we say they're engaging with us. We have about 50 people that enter the process with us. I would say that out of 50, if I could put an estimated guess from my 15 years of franchising experience, I would say about half will really go in deeper and become a franchisee. About 20 to 25 of those 50 will really take the next steps. In Canada, we see Canada being anywhere from about 40 to 50 unit country in total. Could be wrong, there could be more, but if I just take a step back and look at it, I'd say it's about a 40 to 50 unit country.
Okay.
And if you're interested in the market, do not say it right now because there could be somebody else out there like, oh, I want that one too. So let's connect one-on-one with that for sure.
Yeah, I guess I want to know is are you guys going to cap off like only one location in a city to start with, or is that number? No,
we go by a territory size. So it's based on the demographics and the number of territories we feel comfortable with putting in a community. We don't want to saturate it. We would love having franchisees have multiple locations, which we obviously already have. But we also understand that, great entrepreneurs start with one location and build their empire from there. So based on the market size, we map it all out. And a really important thing to know is if you're going to be buying one location, and let's say it's Toronto, and let's say it's Markham, you're going to know, because as we move forward, we're going to show you where other possible territories could come up. So one day you're not just going to be like, oh, I didn't know they were going to go there. What happened there? No, you're going to know where other markets could be, so nothing is going to be a surprise to you in the future.
I just got one more question. So the process of opening it, how long would it like approximately be from like, I guess you guys approve it, we got the franchise in the city to opening it? Like how many months, like how long is that duration to get it going?
Yeah, pretty easy timeline. So from the day you first engage on a one-on-one call, it's typically 10 months. From the day you sign your franchise agreement, it's typically 7 months. From the day you sign your lease, it's typically 3 months to open. So you could literally talk to me today and skip past everything and go right to signing a lease within 2 weeks, and then you're open in 3 months. And that literally has happened where we've had a franchisee wait the 14-day legal time period, sign their franchise agreement, within a week sign their lease, and they were open in 3 months. So from the first time they engaged with us, when they opened their doors was 3.5 months. I built you a timeline on averages, but we have had franchisees demolish those averages and get much more aggressive. It really depends upon you and your market, and we work with you on that.
And do you guys help us on like figuring out like what's the ideal location to open?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to work with you in the best area, best market. Remember, we're giving you one of our babies, right? Mm-hmm. This is our brand, and you're developing your brand underneath the Code Ninjas brand, right? That's really the success of a franchise is when our franchisees build their personal brand underneath the umbrella of the Code Ninjas brand. So this is a partnership, right? We don't use franchise brokers. We don't use franchise consultants. Who you're speaking with now is who that's an open door in the future, right? I'm the vice president of franchising over here. So if you're working with me and in 9 months, as you're open, my door is open. You feel free to call me, send me an email. It's a culture of connectivity. We want to make sure that you know that you can engage with us at any time, no matter who you've worked with through the process.
Great. Yeah, sorry, I missed the first 15 minutes, so I might have missed some info.
Oh, no worries.
So how much
worries.
like deviation can we go? Like, can we take off from your plan that you guys have currently right now?
Well, branding wise, not much at all. You're not going to be able to deviate from our brand.
Yeah, I guess I'm talking more on the program itself.
All curriculum has to be approved by the corporate office.
Okay.
So we have our curriculum in place. There's no reason to try. I mean, now if you have ideas because you have a friend of yours created an augmented reality curriculum for kids, let's beta test it. Let's work together and let's launch it brand wide, right? I mean, we're totally open to the ideas our franchisees have, but we have to see it as a scalable piece, not just something that you're going to do in just one isolated market. I would never want somebody to become a franchisee thinking they can just be unique with their own Code Ninjas. We have to work together as a team to accomplish the greater good of teaching all kids how to code through this curriculum, our game-based curriculum, and learning these skills.
Fair enough. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. One thing to really remember in all of this, when you're really looking at how we develop Code Ninjas, when you're thinking about how unique you can with your Code Ninjas, that's you. Follow the system, follow the path, and you inject yourself into your Code Ninjas. I can promise you parents will drive by one Code Ninjas to go to the next because they enjoy the environment more. If you just focus on curriculum and not experience, you will be missing you'll miss people, you will miss parents, you will miss families, you will lose kids. You have to balance the two. So injecting your culture, your experience, I can tell you that when I see franchisees do it, I've been in franchising for 15 years. I helped my last brand go from 50 locations to 3,600 locations. I can tell you that when a franchisee gets it and they inject their culture and their excitement and their passion inside of their Code Ninjas, it is an experience that people want to be a part of. But when you just are robotic and you don't do that, you just do the curriculum, you just do that task, and you don't have that excitement, you don't have that passion, you don't have that joy in what you do, you will lose people, you will miss people. We don't want that to happen. So as the Vice President of Franchising at Code Ninjas, I always give my phone number. If you want to reach out to me, 763-516-3578. My name is Marty Flanagan. You can also reach me at marty@codeninjas.com. If you call me right when we hang up, there's a good chance that I am not going to answer because I do need to use the bathroom and get a drink of water. So I may not pick up right away, but if I can, I will call you right back if I'm able to. But I want to thank everybody for joining today's Code Ninjas weekly conference call. I love doing these calls each and every week. Once you get to know me, you see my personality, you know that I really held myself back on this call today, but I really enjoyed doing them. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. And thanks again for just taking your time out of your day to join the weekly Code Ninjas conference call.